I keep a distance, but I'll follow this guy. But of course, you know, it was fine, and followed the signs to the centre of Calais where I was staying. That was fine. But as you say, the very first time you do it, and then you go into the roundabouts, and you just have to concentrate. But done it so many times now, it just becomes automatic. But it was interesting when I was driving my partner's car, because we'd been out for the evening, and she drove to the pub, and I said, what time do you pick your car up? And she said, well, do you mind doing it for me? I said, well, I can. I said, I've never driven a left-hand drive car before. She said, well, there's the keys. Give it a go. Well, yeah, okay. You want to trust me? I'll do it. And it was fine. I think I drove to her mother's flat, and it was only a 15, well, not even a 50, about a 10-minute drive. I thought, that's okay. Get used to it. And then, of course, she mainly worked from home, but she had some meetings, weekly meetings on a Tuesday in Den Haag. And she said, do you fancy driving me to Hagen tomorrow? That really will test your driving skills. I went, yeah, if you feel confident, so we do that. And it's quite nice, because it's, what, an hour and 15 minutes? I can't remember exactly how long it took, but to get from Hilversum to The Hague. So she went off to have a meeting, and I just drove down to Groningen and spent my time walking along the beach and drinking coffee and sunbathing. It was lovely. I thought I could get used to this. But interesting, when you come back to the UK, I thought, well, you know, she's not been driving over there sort of every day. Her car. It'd be interesting to see how I respond when I get back to the UK. Because of course, you know, you get on the plane, you're back within a couple of hours, and before you know where you are, you're back in your car and you're driving on the other side of the road. But I found it was completely automatic. I didn't hesitate at all. I think the brain sort of just, when you don't spend any time, sort of almost goes into automatic mode. Obviously, you know, anyone, we're human. We can make mistakes, but luckily, haven't done so far. There was one time, many years ago, when I was driving over there in my car, of course, I'd missed my turning, so I pulled into a petrol station and did a little U-turn, and as I came out, I then realised to my horror that I was going down the one-way street the wrong way. I was like, oh my God, there's all these cars in front of me. Luckily it wasn't a major road, but the cars in front of me, they all stopped. They all put their hazard lights on, and allowed me to do a three-point turn, which was very courteous of them, I thought. Imagine if that's happening over in the UK, you'd probably get loads of abuse, wouldn't you? Anyway, that's a very long waffle, Jeff, sorry about that. GM8OFQ. We all noted about the roads and the BMW now. Yes. One place I've never been, on my bucket list to come up and visit the islands one day. GM8OFQ, G78FS mobile.
Yeah, very good in G78FS mobile, GM8OFQ. Yeah, the perils of driving on the wrong side of the road. Yeah, we've spent quite a lot of time in the States. Christine is from the States anyway. She very much prefers to drive left-hand drive cars, automatic transmission, of course. She doesn't like stirring the porridge. But she gets on very well with the Land Rover. I have to admit, when we had our little health scare a few weeks ago, she was driving the Land Rover, and she did very well. It's not an easy gear change on the Land Rover. It's very heavy, and you have to depress the clutch pedal right down onto the floor to get a smooth change of gear. That's pretty standard for Land Rovers, particularly the older models. And she found that a little bit difficult, but actually driving the Land Rover was no problem. The Land Rover's got a lot of torque, of course, so she generally tended to select third gear and stayed in third gear for the whole journey. Although the roads here, as I say, you can only do 30, 35 miles an hour, so staying in third gear was probably a wise idea. Yeah, very good. Okay, Ian. Well, listen, I'll let you get off there. I'm going to go and put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, and we might try again a little bit later to see how the band is doing. But as I say, at the moment, it's looking very good. There are lots of spare slots up and down the band, and some quite strong signals coming in. A lot of European stations on 40 as well. Okay, and all the best, mate. Regards to you and your partner there. Well, I'm sure we'll speak to you before you depart for Papa Alpha Land. But in case we don't, we certainly will listen out for you there. Anyway, Ian, I'll put it back to you there to tie the ribbons. I think there's one or two other people called in there for you as well. G7HFS Mobile, GM8OFQ.
Yeah. GM8OFQ, G7HFS Mobile. Yeah, there's somebody else. I think they're calling you actually, Jeff. That's fine. Yeah, all copies. Yeah, I won't be taking the car next time. I'll be flying again, but my IC7300 is actually over there. I've left it over there. So all I need to do is sort out a power supply and a bit of wire for an aerial. That'll be quite a simple thing to do. Sorry, you mentioned the health care. I didn't know that. I hope all is well. You may not want to give any details over there, but I hope all is good with you both now anyway. Look, back to your very quick comments, Jeff, and we'll see who the other stations are. But if they want to call you, that's fine. I'm quite happy to QSY that. GM8OFQ, G7HFS Mobile.
Yes, okay, Ian. No, it's not a problem. It was a very mild heart attack. A bit of a wake-up call, actually. It came out of the blue, and we were just sitting in front of the radio, actually, not doing anything strenuous, and I wasn't feeling too good. And then I started to get some chest pains, so went down to the doctors. He put me on the ECG and said, I think we need to get you into hospital straight away. So the helicopter arrived and flew me down to Aberdeen. And we went into the operating theatre, and they stuffed a couple of stents up the artery through the arm into the heart and pumped these stents up. Took about an hour and a half. We were out again and then out of hospital 24 hours later after a bit of monitoring. We're on some tablets at the moment. But everything seems to be okay, and no signs of anything going astray. So we're just taking it easy for a while anyway. Hopefully in a couple of months we'll be back up to normal, and then we can start lifting towers and heavy antennas again. So.
G7HFS, but I can relate to that. Holiday with his wife. He got out of breath quickly, and he had the same thing done. I've had a mild heart attack as well. I didn't even know I'd had it, to be honest. I had two mini strokes and a mild heart attack, all within, the two mini strokes were within 6 months of each other. And when they checked me through, thinking, well, why is that? Because I wasn't really sort of showing any, symptoms as in pain. But then the consultant said to me, have you been under any stress recently? Of course, this was all going on while I was fighting the tribunal, which I won, thankfully, but it was just the stress. So stress is not a good thing. And when they did the test, they said, looks like you had a mild heart attack as well. Oh, blimey, So, yeah, but... So it's time to enjoy life again, I think. I've certainly got my weight down. I managed to lose a couple of stone. That was recently, actually. So I'm determined to keep the weight down. I'm back to what I should be now. I had a hip replaced in 2015. 2010. I had that done. God, is it that long ago already? Yeah, it was. Crikey. How time flies, isn't it? But I've also got quite bad arthritis on the right knee. But I found that by getting my weight down and doing more exercise, I can now walk for several miles easily, feel much fitter. And I guess, I've got more of an incentive to do that now, haven't I? All right, Jeff, great to talk with you. Back to you for any final, and then we'll see if there's anybody else who wants to call in. GM8OFQ, G7HFS mobile.
Hi, Jeff, Golf 1 Zulu.
Yeah, okay, just stand by a sec. Yes, okay, Ian. Yeah, well, it does focus the mind on priorities in life, and I have to admit, I probably have been a little bit amiss with looking after myself. I'm not an alcoholic, but we do drink at weekends. Friday, Saturday and Sunday evenings we have a little tipple with the week. Yeah, I have stacked on a bit of weight since we've been up here. So that's one thing we're attending to, and we're cutting back on the alcohol as well. So, yep, as I say, hopefully everything will be okay. There are no signs. I've got a checkup in a few weeks' time for an ECG and a heart scan, and hopefully they won't find anything amiss. But, yeah, it certainly does focus you, particularly when it comes out of the blue. I've always been, I consider myself fairly fit and healthy. I've been clambering up and down these damn towers for 5 years. 4 years now since we've been here, and had no issues at all climbing up the towers and shifting heavy antennas. But obviously I wasn't paying attention to my physical situation, and that's probably what caused it. But as you say, stress as well. I mean, everybody is under stress these days, particularly now with things as they are and as they will be over the next 6 or 7 months. Stress is going to be the major factor of heart attacks. So anyway, we'll try and chill out as much as we can, Ian. Well, I'll just have to spend more time in the shack. That's the solution, I think. So we'll be persuading the XYL that that's the healthiest thing to do. Ian, thanks very much indeed, mate. We'll see you a little bit later on. Cheers for now, and enjoy the rest of the day down there on the south coast. G7HFS mobile, GM8OFQ.
GM8OFQ, G7HFS mobile. Okay, yes, Jeff, always a pleasure to talk with you, and yes, take it easy. That's what you're going to do. Little and often, and yeah, don't worry, we like to drink as well. Rubbish food that I was consuming, you know, the biscuits and the cakes and stuff like that. So doing a lot more exercise, and actually the weights have more money. So I'm very pleased with that. And I'm sure you'll still be absolutely fine. As you say, it is a bit of a wake-up call. I had it, and it's scary when it happens, but you know, there are ways to deal with that, and it sounds like you're doing that brilliantly. Oh, yeah, it's great to talk to you as always. I'll just go quiet now, save the car battery, and see if anyone else wants to call in. So I don't have to. Well, they've not got to call you. You're the powerhead. Cheers for now. This is G7HFS mobile at the port of New Haven. Timing was GM8OFQ and pushing the frequency.
Yes, okay, and we'll see you a little bit later on. Cheers for now. And for the station that called, go down to 7173. 7173.5. I think that frequency is clear. GM8OFQ QSY.
Is the frequency clear? Is the frequency clear?
Yeah, I think the frequency is still clear there. GM8OFQ, sorry, I didn't catch the call.
It's Golf 1 Zulu Yankee X-Ray Mike in sunny Rochdale. Very good afternoon, Jeff. I see you've changed the tones on your radio. It sounds more like the old one, over.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Yeah, well, thanks for the information and the advice there. Yeah, it does sound a little bit better. We did make a slight adjustment on the equalizer in 1 dB increments, but I think that's slightly incorrect. But anyway, yeah, I did listen on the SDR, on the web SDR, and it does sound a little bit more rounded. So hopefully it's an improvement, Mike. Anyway, yeah, a lovely signal from you as usual. 59+ into Orkney Island, Mike. Over.
Yeah, Golf 1 Zulu Yankee X-ray returning. It must be very more that looking at the band scope over the last 10 minutes, you're 20 dB more than anybody else on the band. Absolutely incredible. And on your equalizer, has it got a mid-range on it, Jeff? Over.
Yeah. It's got 8 channels from 100 up to 3200. And it peaks on 1200 through 2400. I've got about 12 dB, and 800 is down to 3 dB for it. Compression on as well, which does seem to make a bit of difference. When I take the compression off, it does sound fairly flat. The compression just sharpens it up a little bit. It's not traditional compression on the K4 here. It's a single sideband is what they call it, and it's a very sharp filter on the edges of the envelope, so it does prevent any distortion. It's sort of a pre-distortion, similar to the Flex radio and the Anand's pre-distortion. So we keep a little bit of controlled envelope on the transmission there, running at 2 point.
I take it you dropped the compression off on that over, low compression on the X, but with the compression off, if I'm correct, if you did drop it off, because it sounded like it from here, radio over.
Yeah, well, that's good news, Mike. I'm pleased to hear that because I was getting very good audio reports on the K3. I thought it was the headset that was the problem here. I've got a very old Heil Elite headset here. It's what is it? It's 12 years old now, and it's held together with tie wraps and super glue, bodge tape, and it's still going. I'm reluctant to get rid of it because, as I say, it does work well with the K3, but I don't think it quite matches up to the K4. But anyway, I'm glad to hear that, and thanks for that report there, Mike. Anyway, I hope everything's well with you. Did we work you? Let me just hear. Today's date is the 28th. We worked you this morning, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, Golf 1 Zulu Yankee for returning this morning, yeah, Jeff, and before that was the last time the news was on, which was probably a couple of weeks ago or something like that. But the modulation now, I would leave it exactly as it is for this band. If you want to go DX in, and you could put the compression in, but I think you'll make the contact with the compression in or not. But definitely, that is a lovely audio, absolutely lovely. And I'm on the Icon Pro, let's have a look, 756 Pro, and I've changed the speaker in it to something of a higher fidelity. You know, you take the speaker out of the original radio, and it's like something out of a little pocket transistor radio, like a 50p little speaker. But of course, sometimes that's good if you just want to hear voice modulation. But I've got a more rounded, more frequency orientated speaker, which is much better on my ears. And on the speakers on the top, I've got a reflector pointing the sound towards me, so it's very, very analytical. Over.
Yeah, QSL, Mike. Yeah, it does make a huge difference to the quality of the received audio. Obviously, if you've got a high quality speaker, the audio sounds very much better. The speakers on the K3 were not very good, actually. I rarely used the external speaker on the K3. I always use the headset, but on the K4 the speakers are much bigger and much more well baffled, and they do produce very nice audio, so I use these speakers much more frequently, although at the moment I'm using the headset. The unfortunate thing is that when I'm running the speakers together with the headset, I do get feedback. I have to have either the headset or the speakers running. I don't have a desk mic here. I just have the headset, the Heil headset, and I've got the fist microphone for the K4. But I don't like to use the fist microphone. I can't type. I can't type with one hand. I'm one of these two-fingered typists, and I need both fingers to type into the keyboard here, which I find difficult to do when you're using a fist mic. But anyway, well, as I say, I'm pleased to get that report from you. That's very encouraging, Mike. Yes, I thought we'd worked you today. I was just looking at the log here, and it says 7127 on the frequency at 8:41 GMT this morning. I thought we worked you yesterday. That's why I queried the date. But it just proves that time flies when you're having fun, Mike. Very good. Okay, I'll put it back to you there. I'm going to go and put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, Mike, and lubricate these tonsils. G1ZYX, GM8OFQ.
Golf 1 Zulu Yankee X-ray returning. Hey, the band's lovely at the moment, and the needle just drops right down when you unkey the mic. I've got no neighbour noise, and there's not any discernible static to interfere with anything on the band. So it's all looking good. And of course, at this time we get more of the continentals coming in, but you were peaking on a plus 20 decibels, of course, with no preamp on this band, and I don't know, my compression on, I've got compression on wide, and that's how it's always been on this radio. There is a facility to record your modulation and play it back to you, but that's in the manual somewhere. I don't think I've ever used it. So you'd have to get somebody to record you and play it back, and other than me. But there again, even when it's played back, it's not going to sound the same. Okay, Jeff, I'll leave you to it. And just on the point of the alcohol, I love my 2 tins a night and my small glass of wine before my tea. I remember in the 80s, I used to have 5 pints every night. You know, flipping heck, and I think, when you think back of it, there was no health implications then in them days. Okay, Jeff, go and get yourself a brew, and I hope to speak to you in the week, possibly, because I'll be on the radio this week. It's my week off. I'm at my house at the moment, playing radio, while my other half is doing what she's doing in her house. Golf 1 Zulu Yankee X-ray will be clear. See you, Jeff.
Yes, okay, Mike, very good. Well, always a pleasure to hear you. I'm sure we'll catch up with you during the week sometime, so give us a shout if you hear us on, and we'll pick it up again. Cheers for now, Mike, and have a good evening. G1ZYX, GM8OFQ. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Afternoon, Jeff. Tango Kilo.
Okay, Golf Whiskey 6 Sierra Tango Kilo. Good afternoon, good evening. Thanks very much for calling in. Yeah, good signal, Robert. 59 plus into Orkney Islands. QSL?
Yep, QSL on that. Yeah, you're 59 plus 20. Too bad. Just going through the band and heard your Dorset tones in there. So, yeah, I thought I'd give you a quick